My name is Angela, and I'm one of the Tupperware directors here with Champion. And I have been doing this for about 5 years now. I couldn't believe it was 5 years now. It goes by so fast. I am 46 years old, and the reason I tell you that is because I have two small children at home. They are 6.5 and 8. And what Tupperware has done for us is the ability to keep me home. That's when they were babies back there. Okay, but they're not babies anymore and they're sleeping. But it made it that we could keep me home and still have an income coming in to help with bills, extras, things like that. Within the first year and a half, we had taken our credit card debt and completely paid it off with just Tupperware money. Nothing else. Basically, every party I did, every sale I did, I took a portion of it, set it aside, made extra payments, and was able to tell my husband, guess what? We don't have any credit cards. So that was a huge thing with Tupperware that made me realize this is kind of my thing. Also, when I was 3, my mom sold Tupperware. And I remember going to parties with her and passing out pens and being this little girl just walking around, and everybody thought, oh, look how cute. And I was like, oh, I could do this. So now my children, Anthony and Barrett, they come with me a lot. If I have outdoor vendor shows, things like that, they stop up with their dad. One of them always wants to stay behind and hang out. They talk to people. When they go to school, they wear their Tupperware shirts. They also, it's super cute because they will say to somebody at the pool, oh, that's not a Tupperware water bottle. You should probably go talk to my mom. And it honestly is a great conversation starter. The other thing we have done is with moving up through the channel of Tupperware and moving into director status, we no longer have to worry about one of the payments on our vehicle. What's wonderful about Tupperware is you get the options. I like options when it comes down to things. I like that I can choose a vehicle or I can choose the money. We have chosen the money for the last couple of years, and we basically pay our van note because booster seats, car seats, things like that, doing vendor shows, lugging everybody around, taking animals to the vet, things like that. It really just worked out for us at this time to do the car cash. And, Tupperware has been an eye opener. You know, People always say things like, oh, it's this, it's that. You're selling bowls. Could it really be more? It is. It is more. People come to my table or they come to the parties and they share the experience with me of a bowl that their grandma used and their grandma's passed. And a lot of times we end up in tears at the end. And it makes me at that moment realize I'm going down the right journey here. But also it's been wonderful to help families. I have a very nice team. They have become part of our family, mine and my husband's. And we're there through births, weddings, funerals, and more. So I have taken on another team myself. And I will say, coming into this team, especially with Champion, there was a day when we were still going to the studio about 2.5 years ago, and I know Pam's going to remember this. I was driving to the studio, and I live in Mentor, Ohio. So I'm about an hour and a half with traffic because I go through downtown, but it's like my time. I received a phone call. A friend of mine had passed away completely out of the blue. The girl was always smiling, happy, beautiful, 2 gorgeous children. I was there when her first son was born. It's the first baby I ever saw born. And I got to the studio and I was sat in the car and I wasn't going to go in. And something told me to go in. And I went in and I went up to Pam and I said, can I talk to you for a second? And I told her what happened. And she says, you need to be here today. That's why you drove here. You need us and we need you. And meeting started a little bit late because Pam and I were sitting in the back talking, and I was really dealing with this hard. And it was the best thing for me to get in my car that day. And something made me not miss my meeting and go there, because what happened was Tupperware became another family for me that I needed. It's a blessing. My parents are still with us, and my grandma who's 93. But I will tell you, there have been times that I have gone in to talk to directors or other consultants, and I was able to say, hey, I'm going through this right now. Can I have your opinion? And no one has ever looked at me like I was crazy, had three heads. Well, sometimes they look at me like I'm crazy and have three heads, but I'm also 46 with two small children. But it's really about the family, and that's what I talk to people about when I'm like, hey, join my team, let's talk about this, let's talk about, you need to make some extra income. A lot of times the people that reach out are the ones who they need an extension of their family, and that's what I feel I get from being with everybody for 5 years. Yes, when you are down, a couple weeks ago I went through a small scare. We weren't sure what was going on, health issue, female stuff. And, I went to Pam and talked to her, and I opened up to a couple other people. As soon as my appointments were over, messages, what's going on, what's going on, what's going on. And it was, wow. Granted, everything was a positive outcome. If you look on the page for Thursday night, I did post pictures of how my husband and I went out and celebrated. And, I'm good to go. You can't get rid of me that easy, guys. But I just want people to know it's way more than selling Tupperware. It's really not. It's not selling Tupperware at all. It's listening, learning, and experiencing. Sorry, that's my crazy phone. And going forward and knowing that you have to have an open mind and let people in. And that's what Tupperware has honestly taught me in 5 years. Not only could I pay off bills by selling a bowl, but I could gain a family that has held my hand and my heart more than I think a lot of them know. So, and I was super excited to see our invite for Tuesday for lunch with Pam and them, because it's been too long and I miss my family.